So my esteemed opponent, Mr. Washington, he speaks about the present condition of the Negro post-slavery. He says that the Negro is a beast of burden, used to hard physical labor. And I believe that what he argues is a continuation of these same policies as far as our education and labor goes. Basically, when it comes to his argument, I think that you can make a summation of, he argues for this, what he calls the substantial versus the superficial. His substantial being a more vocational, industrial education, whereas the superficial in his point of view is my liberal arts education. I find a few issues with a couple of his arguments. One of his key ones being that he asks for whites to cast down their buckets where they are. And he says that in the struggle of equality, you can't put the cart before the horse. But in my opinion, in this struggle of equality, you are allowing yourself to be subjugated by whites. And you're already acknowledging that whereas we've been a beast of burden in the past, we'll continuously be a beast of burden to whites in the future. And that any economic or social success that we have with our education always comes second to those of whites. I fundamentally disagree with this, and this is why I also disagree with his notion of an industrial education in the first place. I think the biggest argument is in the function of the university, and I believe that is as a liberal arts institution. Basically, the South, it has many things. Obviously, it's got some workers. We know that because we are them. Obviously, it has slave drivers. We know because they have the education and we do not. But what it lacks is a broad knowledge of what the world knows. And if we could understand that which we may apply to the thousands of problems that we confront in our life, if we can gain that understanding, like I said before, we can use that understanding to work wonders. Whether it's in the factory or whether it's running the factories, whether it is gaining an industrial education or whether it's using math and sciences to figure out the social ills of the world and how we might be able to use economic policies, scientific policies, political policies to bring our black brethren up. One thing to keep in mind is that we can't constantly look at ourselves back in the cave when we were subjugated and when we were Negroes of beasts of burden. Instead, we have to pull across the veil and look into the future. 50 years ago, we were slaves. Today, more than 400 Negroes have graduated colleges from Harvard, Yale, over women. And many of them, I believe, are going to be our future politicians, businessmen, doctors, lawyers, instead of seeking second slavery in the future. I yield the remainder of my time.